Rory McIlroy is looking to add a second claret jug to his collection this week in Royal Portrush at the Open. He's been speaking to the media. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
2019. I think it's amazing that Portrush has this opportunity so soon after the last Open to host again. And yeah, just great to be back. I don't spend a lot of time in these parts anymore, just with travel schedule, living abroad, all that stuff. So to be here, to see a lot of familiar faces, even some of the, every, hole on the course has a different team of marshals from different golf clubs, and then just to see people that I've met throughout the years out there this morning was really nice. But yeah, it's really nice to be back, and obviously very, very excited for the week.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll start with Dan in the middle there, please.
Rory, you spoke after the Masters about needing to find your next Mount Everest. Your last two starts have been really, really solid. How would you describe coming into this week, coming into how you came into maybe the PGA or the US Open?
Yeah, I'm certainly encouraged by how I've played the last two starts, especially last week in Scotland. Yeah, it's been, I think the 2 weeks off after the Travellers, just to reset, to get over here, bit of a change of scenery has been really nice. And yeah, like this is, when I was looking at the calendar for 2025, this was the tournament that was probably, circled even more so than the Masters for different reasons. So it's lovely to be coming in here already with the major and everything else that's happened this year. So, I'm excited with where my game is. I felt like I showed some really good signs last week, and feel like I'm in a good spot. And had a, not that last week was a pure preparation week, but it definitely, I feel like it put me in a good spot heading into here.
Okay, next question, back left, Swami.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rory, the pressure is off. The Slam is there. The Masters is there.
Is it? Is the pressure off?
I know there's always a pressure. Now playing at home. You also spoke about your schedule. Now you're kind of adding new parts of the world, like my part of the world, India. So any comments on that? And now does it mean that you will be seen more often in different parts of the world?
Yeah, I hope so. I've certainly voiced my views and opinions about, the top level of men's professional golf maybe needs to get a little more international in some ways. And yeah, I'm excited to go to India. I've never been before. So I'm excited just to take in a new place and a new culture and, play in different parts of the world. I'm going to Australia at the end of this year as well. And I've always been quite an international player, and I've enjoyed going to different places. And I just think at this stage in my career, basically 18 years into my professional career, to still be able to experience new things and play in new tournaments, that's something that means a lot to me.
Okay, Mark at the front left there.
Hey, Rory. What are your most vivid recollections of the emotional week here in 19, and what do you take away from that maybe helps you this week?
Yeah, I think I remember not the ovation I got on the first tee on Thursday, and not being prepared for it, or not being, ready for how I was going to feel or what I was going to feel. And then the golf on Thursday feels like a bit of a blur. I try to forget that part of it, but I remember the run on Friday. I remember I was making a charge and making a run to try to make the cut, and I hit a 6-iron into the 14th, second shot. And I remember the roar from the crowd. It was sort of getting a little dark, and it was overcast, and I for whatever reason, like that, the one thing I remember is that shot and that roar of the crowd, and walking up to that green and getting a standing ovation, and that was it was really special. I wish I had have been here for 2 more days to get a bit more of that and experience it, but hopefully I can change that this week.
We'll come to the middle here. Next question.
Rory, I think it was in Full Swing, you were talking about you and Shane's relationship, and you mentioned he can be kind of a good role model for you in some ways. I'm just wondering if there's any traits of his or characteristics that you envy or wish to embody in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, Shane and I have become, we've always been close, but I think we've become very close over the last sort of 5 or 6 years. I think once we both had kids, or at least once I had kids or had a daughter, and I see how Shane is with his daughters, and I just think when I say like a role model, I just think about like how he is off the course, how he is able to separate his his family life and his normal life from his golfing life. And look, it may be a little more, I'm in a little bit of a different position, so it may be a little more difficult for me, but it's definitely a place that I strive to be in, to be as comfortable getting away from it as he is in a way, and enjoying the fruits of your success and sharing that with your loved ones, and so that I think more so that, I mean, that's what, one of my New Year's resolutions was to have more fun, and I think Shane is very good at having fun, and I need more of that in my life.
Next question, back left there, number 1. Yep, you.
Hi, Rory. Just following on from trying to think positively about Portrush, what are your memories of breaking the course record as a 16-year-old? And speaking about that same kind of topic of being an artist instead of a scientist, how do you reflect on the golfer that you are now compared to the golfer that you were who broke the course record? Yeah,
I honestly, I remember a little bit of it. I don't remember a lot of it. I know I think I was 9 under for the last 10 holes. I had it going with the putter a little bit. It was certainly the first time I'd ever felt like in the zone, or that flow state, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I think as well, like, this golf course has changed. Like, I still, like, it's weird the way, the original 17th and 18th have been taken out of this golf course, and, the new 7th and 8th have been put in, but I still, Harry and I were talking about the course last week, and he's like, oh yeah, on the 12th hole. And I'm like, no, it's the 10th hole. And he's like, no, it's the 12th. So even now, I still remember this course the way it was, and not the way it is for the Open. And I played the Irish Open in 2012, but it was still the original golf course. So I've really only played 2 competitive rounds on this new golf course. So it's a little bit different, but I think, yeah, look, when I shot that 61 when I was 16, I had a little bit of a clue of what I was doing, but I certainly didn't have as much of an understanding of the game or of my game as I do now. And I think, in that 20 years, technology's evolved. I don't even think TrackMans were a thing at that point. So like, there's a lot of different things that have happened to the game of golf that probably push you in the direction of a scientist more than an artist. But as we all know, the Open Championship and Links Golf, you need to show quite a lot of artistry to do well here.
Okay, next question, David at the back.
Yeah, Rory, last group out yesterday in Scotland, out here at the crack of dawn this morning. Just wonder how much sleep you had and whether it was always the intention to get the prep started really early.
Yeah, I got about 4 hours of sleep, so I'm looking forward to taking a nap after this. But yeah, I just, the last couple of majors at the PGA and the US Open, the practice rounds take so long. I feel like there's 50 people inside the ropes all the time, and I feel like I just can't get good work done. I had good preparation, and I didn't come up here ahead of time to try to get a couple of practice rounds in. So just wanted to get out early, sort of beat the rush, beat the crowd, and do my work with not a lot of people around. So that was the reason that I did that today, and it worked out well. Obviously, we had that weather delay there, and it was nice to get 18 holes in early and feel like I got a productive day of working.